GameStop earnings, quick take, and there they are on the screen. Surprised earnings per share, 300% better. Analysts' expectations for a 3-cent loss turned into a 6-cent win. That 6-cent win was comprised of profit from interest earns on securities held as opposed to operating profit. But that's a narrative well discussed online. This is a quick take. Point being, 20 odd million coming in on interest. If they get more money from dilutions, then they'll have a greater return, but we expect the yield on that return to go down over time. So GameStop, lots of money, that's very good. They continue to get money, no more for the rest of this fiscal year, but then likely there is some next year. So where's price going to go in the meantime? Well, here is the chart in the background. After the earnings came out, we saw these big moves. Extended hours, you've got the double test of that high, $31. That is a Tradespotting line. Isn't that miraculous? If you watch Tradespotting for a while, you'll know how effective they are. And then the lows there, post-market 26, just under 26, and then 26 and change was the low during the day, closed at 26.93, which is in around where we thought prices would go. So between this topside and the support level, we found this range in price action. If it does break up, still needs to get back above that 31, and if it does break down, then 27.58 needed to hold that. The fact that it closed the day below it isn't positive on the start of the week after earnings, which surprised to the top side. So likely you would be looking at this period of consolidation as potentially being distribution. You also have that confirmed so far with lower highs, lower lows, even though there was a previous period of positive price action. That phase isn't necessarily the same as what we see here with a degree of consolidation. And then is it distribution? Well, if price breaks below this low, 25.69, which is critical, then it would well be likely you're looking for a retest down here at $22 and change. One of the reasons for that, got this guy here, put this up here, breaking through 50% retracement, you get the golden pocket. Look left, you can see there is a strong level for might potentially bounce there, right? That's all well and good, and so on and so forth. But if we go to the 15-minute time frame, regular hours, then you can see there's a rock outcrop flash, and that comes in at around the 786. So it's much more likely you get a test in around there. It's also true to say that there's a fair value gap or an imbalance on price in at around this level here. So it could well be that GameStop doesn't manage to hold, comes down, breaks there. That's beyond an 886, and then you might be talking about testing in around these prior lows. So that's very possible for GameStop if this is a period of consolidation after this previous rise to the top side, and that ends up in a reversal formation. Could be like that head and shoulders, or if it just turns into distribution, Wyckoff distribution, lower highs, lower lows, blow off top, and price action come back down again, which is the potential future if GameStop doesn't manage to reverse polarity and achieve zero gravity at this level, which will be a question about liquidity. You should check out the Outcrop Discord for top tips on what might seem like esoteric subjects, but are actually key concepts in understanding the market. You will develop a critical method and path of thought that helps you trade every single day. You'll also be around great people who are making great progress as traders. Shout out to everybody on the Outcrop Discord. So there's LivePerson, also on the 15-minute time frame, and a couple of different formations to pay attention to. Here's this channel. Price action's been in lower highs, lower lows. Previous formation there, a bit of a spike to the top side, that impulse move leaving a gap, that fair value gap having been tested once, could come in again, fill in that rock outcrop flash, third touch on the lower side of this channel, and you'd also be testing the breakout zone from the three rising valleys, which would be confirmation of that signal. So this is the fair value gap here, this is price filling that gap, which was on the 4 hour, I think, on 15-minute at least, and maybe even all the way up to weekly. It's on the paid data, but it's filled now. It's filled there. On this time frame, you can see the price action tested that area. If it does do so again or go lower, could come in and test the first second or third, working backwards on these three rise and valleys. These three rise and valleys getting a touch on that area. You might look then overall at this as a double bottom, and you'd look at that as a reversal formation. But until that time is true, you can see that price action has been in this formation. Various ways of looking at it, as I showed you, channel or a wedge. Now, a failed wedge often becomes a channel, so you'll be using this as topside targets, and you might be looking in around the golden pocket retracement, or further still to around 9.3. Zero's what, 9.3. If it is that you're looking back down again, then you've got that rock outcrop flash to target in around that double bottom area. And if price does break up subsequently, you would look to golden pocket 200 period moving average, the prior high within the previous formation. Then you'd look to the next important artifact, which is also confluent with that channel idea, and another important fib, at which point you'd be looking for a breakout back above previous daily highs. So this is a really strong setup you've got on the go for LivePerson. Here, let me just get up a different chart, draw that same picture out for you here. So this is LivePerson. We're looking at it on the 1 hour time frame here, and you've got this reversal formation on price. Various ways of looking at that. Let's get this reversal formation on the go, friends. Let's start with this guy. You see that? Say that we start with him. Yeah, you gotcha. And then drag him over here. So, oops, a daisy. Do you want to come over here? Cheers. So, you know, and maybe you could have done him a little smaller, make it all neater and so on. I'm sure, you know, could have. Anyway, three rise and valleys there. Price action subsequently went up, putting this strong move. You were here, you saw all that, and it's come back down again, test these zones. Now you can put this on like that, drop it across the top side of price action, and you can see golden pocket retracement here, 786, 886, coming back down, test those levels makes sense. You could also understand that if price was to test anything in around this guy here, this is the overall bottom that price action put in at that period of time. Just to do that again anywhere in around here, then you might be looking at getting a double bottom, which you could clone with this guy, and then it really does start to look like a bottom after a while. Excuse me. Children, close your eyes. So you've got this idea, right? This for double bottom. The name makes them seem uncommon, but I'm assured that most bottoms are double bottoms. So you've got this potential period of consolidation ahead of that, and this idea of a reversal that comes in with a double test of that low. That would be a double bottom confirming a previous three rise and valleys, and we'd be looking at a period of consolidation ahead of a strong move, and that might be confirmed with looking at momentum and other indicators. That would certainly be something I would advise. You can also put across the top of price action this picture, which you can draw it in various different ways. Looks like a channel when you do it like this. Just triple check we've got this on correctly too. Good. And then you could be in at this period of price action right now and looking at it instead like a wedge. Now, it'd be various ways of drawing this differently. Get a slightly tighter picture on that. And you could be looking at it again with another line across the top side. Now, there's various ways of drawing it, as I say. If price action breaks to the top side or it breaks down again, you'll likely see it contained within these two different formations, as that wouldn't change the overall volatility as expressed by the range in price action, because that's what volatility is, the dispersal of price over a range. And if you're looking at it in these particular formations here, you've got a good guideline from one to the other. If you are to take measured moves from that, we did draw it on previously, but it's somewhere in it around, you know, this is the idea of a wedge right in here. And if price is to break down, it could certainly be a lot tighter than that, but you'd still be looking at something approximate to this as your measured moves. Now, if it is to break out of that, take it back to the top side, you're talking about testing those prior highs. If it is to break down again, we can use that same guy. Whoops, well, just borrow over here. You could be talking about a breakdown here, coming back down. Cheapers, creepers, goodness gracious me. We want to put it on the bottom of the wedge, don't you, Tradespotting? So you could be talking about something like that, coming in, testing that prior low, which is all very possible. Anything is possible. The idea that we're suppressing at this point in time is the consolidation that's happening right now, the formations that are going on at the same time, and the potential for this to turn into a measured move from within that, what we're looking at there. But then, what are you looking at on price action? If it is that you're looking at this as a head and shoulders, and there's also a tool for that, though I don't think it's particularly fantastic. Here it is. Here, if you're looking at this sort of thing, then maybe you're taking it from these highs. Slow this head and this guy, at which point, you know, your neckline's already broken. You'd be looking at confirmation of that move in the extension, which might be taken from this measurement. It's quite tough, but if you did do it from there and drop it on, maybe be testing it at a 123 extension. I think 54 cents is much more likely to catch it. What with the impulse move, 61 cents also potentially, those two areas. But that's potential breakdown zones, and it's all very, very scary. If you want to know more about that, check out the bearish thesis on LivePerson. That's a video I'll also be putting out. But if it is that price is in a period of consolidation ahead of breaking to the top side, because it's confirmation of this reversal formation that we've talked about, and test anywhere in and around these areas, which could easily be in line with this channel and price action moving to the top side, then you might be looking at this slightly higher low as confirmation at the start of that uptrend, especially with the break and the higher high on the smaller time frames. You know, this period of consolidation in price action that leads to harmony across different time frames is to be expected after that impulse move and a long-term trend being broken, potentially, right? So you would look at this as all about now being a bit of a mess, just like the other chart, and exactly the reason it changed. Defeating me again, the mess. I think that you'll be looking at positive moves to the top side that were quite sharp and strong, and then formed other formations. And if this was to break to the top side, you know, you'd be looking at this thing and thinking, well, you've got this guy, you've got this low, you come in, you've got this guy here, you've got your overall inverted head and shoulders, and a reversal formation that takes price action much higher. And all of these narratives have to be demonstrating some potential before it is that price action will find that harmony across all those different time frames. It needs to line up for a variety of reasons, especially when you're asking something very big of price. It has to be there on the chart, even if the counter thesis is, which I've tried to outline here, but it's not really realistic. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would be quite panicky about what I'm saying there, but I don't think actually any of that is really true, other than to emphasize the fact that you're in a period of consolidation. Now you should go off and do your own chart formations and talk about them on Discord and confirm them with a variety of indicators. It'd be great to see that, and I'll engage very much on the pro side of Discord with everybody doing that. Thanks very much for watching, and I think you should be checking out Bitcoin. Huge moves recently, right? It's 97.5. That's the period we talked about. I think it was in yesterday's video as being a period of consolidation at that level. Even if it breaks a little below or a little bit higher, that's the area it's coming back to. It needs to do something significant there. So we're going to be looking to price action on Bitcoin, and Rocky Outcrop show tomorrow with the question that Bitcoin did break above 100,000. Bitcoin got back above this 100,000 level. See the instances where it did it. On the road up to it, it got bounced off it a couple of times, right? Price action consolidated in this zone, and it did take a bigger hit and come down and test 90,000 previously, and still test up at 100,000 again. So having broken 100,000 once and then tested it again, does that mean that it's now coming in finding support? It could easily go up and test it again. I mean, this is the area it's bounced from before. You see that again slightly lower. You see another test here. These are three very obvious areas of support, and price action could then easily come up and test and put in, you know, one, two, maybe a second or third debatable touch to the top side before finally rolling over. That's very possible. Do you see any distribution here? Well, you've got higher highs, and so far this is a higher low, and despite the fact that this was a strong wick down, the body close on it was quite high again, you know. And this is starting to look like some sort of glyph from South America, but really I don't mean it to. This is the simple picture on price action for Bitcoin. There's an area of resistance, there's an area of support, and till such times as price finds support back above resistance or finds resistance back below support. You're very much in ranging price action. And the best person to tell you what's coming next is Rocky Outcrop. He's got you covered on Bitcoin. His technical analysis on Bitcoin has been phenomenal from 17.5 and all the way up, all the oscillations. Could show you, probably could show you, where is it? Is it even on this one? And anyway, you'll see it for yourself tomorrow on the Rocky Outcrop show. I hope this recorded. It is rather late. 5 a.m. Tradespotting. Get yourself to bed. What are you guys up doing watching this at this time? Hit the like button. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate you. If you want to support the show, you can do it using the links below. You could become a channel member. You could take the course or join the paid side Discord. All those options are open to you. Support the channel and the community. It's appreciated. See you in the next one.